Recently, as a matter of last week, I returned from England, where I went on a exploration mission per se, to have a chat with a professional academy, a Premier League professional academy, to entice them to participate in a tournament which the Tobago House of Assembly, the Division of Sport and Youth Affairs, in collaboration with Tobago Football Association, to have an under-18 international tournament held in Tobago later this year. Ideally, we'd like to have it in July. I met with members of the Leicester City Football Club Academy, in which they have shown interest and very excited about participating in this tournament. This tournament, the gist of it, or the premise behind it, is to allow young players in Tobago and the region the opportunity to be scouted by Leicester City or any academy as a pathway to a career in professional football. Based on the discussion, which I mentioned was very favorable, we have now gone ahead and put together a committee to organize this particular tournament. As many of you all would know, that since the discovery, and I use that invertedly, of Dwight Yorke, we've never had another person from Tobago to be scouted by a premier team or coming to visit Tobago with that intent. So it is hoped that this launches off a predictable pathway for youngsters who are interested in becoming professional footballers. Coming out of the discussion further, Leicester City also expressed that if the success of this tournament will determine if they will commit for a long-term deal, which is hope would be something of a reality. So that we will be collaborating with Division of Tourism, because we recognize that this has the potential of a sport tourism initiative. So part of a member of the committee is from the tourism division, who will be instrumental in promoting and marketing this particular tournament. So as it pertains to that trip, like I said, it was favorable, and we sincerely hope that we could make this into a reality. Furthermore, it is also the hope of myself and the committee that we're targeting 5 years from now, that this tournament could be self-sustaining, meaning that we attract enough corporate interests that they will be willing to sponsor the tournament in its entirety. The other update I have to provide to you, not much of an update, but more of an information as it pertains to the indoor facility. The timeline what we have, we are a month behind. We are waiting UDCOT to submit the contract for us to engage them as the project managers for this project. We have sent 3 letters to them inquiring about the status of this particular contract. To date, we haven't gotten a response, but we're still hoping. The Chief Secretary has a meeting scheduled due to cut next Monday, and we hope that that issue will be resolved so we could get back on the timeline that we have. We're still targeting May, June for the start of the construction of this facility. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate and offer my support to the Tobago Netball League and also the Tobago Cricket Association. As you may have recalled, last year a team, including myself, went to St. Vincent to initiate a youth development exchange program, and that has now come into fruition. Netball is taking a team this weekend to participate in the opening of the Netball League in St. Vincent and play some games. Cricket is taking a youth team to St. Vincent. It's scheduled for next month, April, and it is hoped that football will be one of the teams in the tournament later this summer in July. Would be the St. Vincent under 18 team. the success of this initiative will determine whether other sports are added, which would include football, track and field, table tennis, etc. Because they have indicated an interest to be part and parcel of this arrangement. The arrangement currently is that the local association, will only be responsible for the airfare of the team visiting. So Tobago would have to see about their expense to get there, but accommodation, travel, everything else, and they get to St. Vincent will be handled by the St. Vincent, the respective St. Vincent association. The only update I have again would be the Youth Commonwealth Games that is scheduled for next year. It's been confirmed that 2 events will be held in Tobago, which will be the road cycling and also the beach volleyball. I know that the Volleyball Association is now soon intend to have screening sessions throughout the country to identify youngsters who would represent the country in this event. The beach volleyball will be held at Pigeon Point, but as time goes on, you will be apprised accordingly with the relevant information as the Commonwealth determines. So having said that, that was a brief update. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions or concerns pertaining to sports. Nothing more than sports.
Like an update on the Dwight York Stadium, any particular time in terms of opening, how much monies have been expended so far, which phases have been completed? As
it pertains to, the only question I could really answer definitively is the phase that they're currently working on is the repairs or the replacement of the lights, the mass lighting. I know at this particular point, the update I got was that the stanchions on which the lights are on, those have been repaired. They're now working on the brackets and the infrastructure to hold the lights. A date was given a February month end for the everything to be completed. Obviously, that hasn't been met. So beyond that, I dare not speculate as to when the new completion date is. I do know that they have some events scheduled for the Dwight York Stadium, which would involve the lights. So I take it that they will have to work towards meeting that deadline. The earliest one would be April, which would be the Falcon Games. And I know that would definitely need lights unless they reschedule the timing and the ending of that event. There's also the junior champs, NCAA junior champs that is scheduled for June. So that definitely has to be factored in. And as I mentioned earlier, the tournament that we want to host it in the Dwight York Stadium, which will be July. So we could start from April as the new tentative date, which they would try to meet. But I think those questions should be directed to UDCOT or Sport TT, and we do have a representative in Tobago on that Sport TT board who I'm sure could provide some more answers on that facility.
I wanted to really quick. I know a long time, I know. I just want to get some clarity on this under 18 tournament that you spoke about it, and in particular, 2 questions really come to mind. If the tournament is to happen in July, that's a very short time for preparation from now, and I'm just concerned whether you feel that it will come off for sure. Is it a certainty? And the other question is, in terms of this particular tournament itself, just 1 second. Is it only Leicester that you had the meetings with, or are there other teams
that we've had a discussion with? We will have. The premise was if we get a commitment from a team like Leicester City or somebody from the Premier League, it would be easy for us to extend an invitation or attract other teams throughout the region to participate. So against that backdrop, it was intended to meet with other clubs, but Leicester City gave us the most positive feedback prior to leaving the shores of Tobago. So we had a discussion with Leicester, and it was very favorable. As it pertains to the event coming off, I'm absolutely certain that it will come off, barring any external factors which we have to take into consideration. The coronavirus as to what the status will be by July. But as it stands right now, we're pressing ahead, and I'm confident that this event will come off successfully.
Did you go alone as a delegation? Who has accompanied you? All right, and the committee, you said a committee has been appointed. Can you tell us who are the persons on the committee?
Ms. Maxine Isaac will be the head of that committee. Mr. Kenny Alfred, or Everton Alfred, sorry. Mr. Garth Aline, Ms. Sheena Davids Devines, and Ms. Biana Edwards. I think that was it. A very small committee.
The tournament, when you came back from the Cayman tournament where we had a Tobago team, is this tournament coming out of that initiative going to Cayman?
The purpose of me going to that tournament is to have an idea as to how they run a similar tournament. So it was more of a fact-finding mission when I went to Cayman Islands last year. And using that as a template, it allowed us now to host a similar event here in Tobago. Initially, we wanted to have an under 16 because it was recognized that the younger the footballers are, it's a lot easier for them to get into the English system or the academies. However, Leicester City had asked that we have an under 18 because that's in line with their preparation for the UEFA Cup youth tournament that they'll be participating in, which is later in the year.
You also mentioned that netballers and cricketers going to St. Vincent, netballers this weekend. What's the THA's involvement with supporting these teams to go?
Well, support will be financial as to provide but that will be coming out of their subvention, which they already part of their budget, which was already approved. So nothing additional to what was approved for their budget, their overall budget for the year.
Didn't speak about it, but next week Tobago will be hosting the secondary schools track and field for the first time ever. Your thoughts on that, and what's your division or the THA involvement? The National Track and Field Secondary School Championship. Tobago hosting, I said, for the first time.
Schools. You didn't say anything, just Tobago hosting it?
Yes, the National Secondary School Track and Field Championships. Your comment on us hosting, what's the THA involvement, your thoughts on it?
I'm happy that it has eventually come to Tobago. That particular event doesn't fall under the auspices or the purview of the Division of Sports. It falls under the Division of Education. But I'm really happy that we have a chance to showcase our athletes here in Tobago over the last quarter century, 25 years, I think, is where we had the record for winning that zonal competition in Trinidad. So it provides an opportunity for our Tobago sporting fraternity to see our young athletes participate. And I think this will act as a precursor to the Carifta Games, which are coming up soon, which is in Easter. So I'm expecting marvelous results and our continuous dominance in that arena. I know the format has changed. It's no longer a zonal competition, but I think the schools are now going up individually. So I suspect we will see who will rise to the top and where we stack up against Trinidad in this tournament at home.
One more question. The Tobago football, you mentioned the football team going as well later on this year. No, there's plan for football team to go to St. Vincent. Hopefully in July.
We'll be coming here.
Cricket is in April. Oh, St. Vincent coming here. All right. Okay, what I want to ask really is we're hearing of a little impasse in the Tobago Football Association. President, no president. Has your division been anywhere asked to arbitrate, to settle any matter?
No, but I think that's more of a rumor mill and allegations. I mean, yes, the president has resigned, but there is an executive that is still functioning. The president of the Tobago executive, and they are the association is still functioning as normal.
Now, it's easy questions this time. Just to refresh persons' memories, what would be the sports that would be housed, facilitated in the indoor facility? The disciplines.
That could use the facility.
Yeah.
Right. Basketball, netball, futsal, hockey, table tennis, volleyball. Those are immediately come to mind.
No badminton. Okay.
I don't think it's going to be restricted to, or any particular sport is not going to be allowed to use it if it's an indoor sport.
And we'll be able to facilitate multiple activities at the same time, like basketball. And is it just one court or multiple courts? One court.
Huge open arena that could be used for multi events, but not at the same time. And that is part of the design that we're hoping to get from whoever the successful tender is, to provide that design of how it will look. One of the criterias is that the facility, if the need arises, it allows for expansion. So it's going to be a modular building, and then the need will determine if we go out and how we do it. What we don't want to do is do the reverse. Build anticipating something would happen, it doesn't work out. Then we'd have expended money that we don't have for something that didn't work out. So if the need arises, then it could bill out accordingly.
Okay. Concerning the potential football tournament with Leicester City, I know you said you want Leicester City Academy. Yes, the Leicester City Academy. You said you targeted a team like Leicester City in order to attract regional teams and kind of. But since the focus of the tournament is for scouting of local talent, do you all plan to expand the amount of foreign teams that would be invited in terms of the European teams, the European academies that would be invited to broaden the amount of scouts?
Even though Leicester City, and I apologize for that, even though Leicester City will be the academy participating in it, it doesn't limit the amount of scouts that can attend. So we do have scouts from other sporting agencies that will be coming to the tournament, and they are linked to other academies. The opportunity is not limited to just Leicester City, getting into Leicester City Academy.
You mentioned other clubs that you're targeting. You got a most favorable response from Leicester City. Who are the other clubs you all had identified?
There are 4 teams for sure will be participating, which will be Leicester, Tobago, the national team, and St. Vincent.
That's in the tournament?
Yes.
That's when you went to England. You said you were hoping to meet with other Premier. I want to make sure I get it clear. Right.
But we didn't go further with that because we got the best favorable response from Leicester before I left. So going there and they expressed their interest in the tournament, so we didn't think it wise to go further, because to attract Leicester, there has to be some concessions made to them, which we're still trying to work out and negotiate. But hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have something to send to Leicester and to other sponsors to get them on board.
I'm not clear for the next question. How many teams you are targeting for the tournament?
8 teams. Will be a 2-group tournament, 4 teams each, and the winner of each group.
Tobago have a team?
Yes, Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago, Leicester City, and St. Vincent. Those are the 4 teams. For sure.
Terry Fenwick and the new president of TTFA, they've done some major changes to Trinidad and Tobago football. Has the division or any football representatives from Tobago had any conversation with the new leadership in the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association yet? And Was the plans in terms of making that relationship probably improve or get a little bit better? We've heard over years, many footballers from Tobago say we don't get picked and we don't get to go down for training and different things happen. Has that discussion started to make Tobago a little bit more prominent on the national side?
And I could end with no, but I suspect that you will all want more information. No, we've had no discussion with the new executive, that is the Division of Sport and Youth Affairs. I do know that the executive, Mr. Wallace and Mr. Luke Loy, are scheduled to be on the island tomorrow to meet with the Tobago Football Association executive. So I suspect such discussions will be had at that point. So I could recommend that you all have a chat with the TFA executive to see how fruitful or how productive that meeting was. But those issues that you pointed out, I'm sure will come to the table to treat with Tobago's issues.